a mathematical and musical genius.
So I'm just going to spoil this review right out the gate and tell you that SkateBIRD is not worth your time. If you want to see why that is and hear me ruffle some feathers, stick around, but if you don't, I don't blame you at all. In this comparison review, we will be taking a look at SkateBIRD side by side with the remastered Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This will be broken up into chapters of sorts, so feel free to check the timestamps in the video description, and let's get moving. Alright, so is it even fair to be comparing SkateBIRD, an indie game that does not take itself seriously, to a remastered edition of one of the most memorable video game franchises in the history of gaming? Well, no, it's not really fair at all. It's not like I went in with any remote expectation that Skateboarding Birds would be anything close to the Tony Hawk series, but I did go in with the expectation that I would have some fun, and no, that did not happen. On the surface, SkateBIRD is a Tony Hawk Pro Skater clone, meaning that it takes the core concept of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series and has no shame ripping almost every idea from it. If you don't know, that basically means skate around some levels to punk rock music, complete a mix of leisurely and skill-based challenges, set high scores, and unlock more levels. Now, is stealing these aspects a bad thing? No, as the Tony Hawk Pro Skater franchise, as I said, is literally one of the greatest and most well-received of all time, especially back in the day. But SkateBIRD implements these ideas so incredibly poorly that it is without a doubt the most frustrating game I have played all year, and I'll explain why next. So initially, and I mean for about 2.5 seconds, the game feels like Tony Hawk. Point your SkateBIRD in the basic direction you want to go, and that's where you'll move. Add in some ollies, grab, flip, and grind tricks, and yep, that's basically Tony Hawk Pro Skater controls. However, unlike Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you can't skate anywhere in this game without something dumb happening. Ride into the side of a wall by accident, get stuck. Try to skate down a ramp, fall down. Try to skate up a ramp, fall down. Skate from one surface to another, bail immediately. Attempt to line up some tricks in a row, and the camera will completely spaz out. It is literally non-stop frustration to just go from point A to point B, and that's a major problem. So really the only mechanic that's introduced on top of what you might be used to from previous skating games is the addition of a double ollie of sorts. You can pull it off in midair, I assume by flapping your wings a little bit. Unfortunately, it doesn't add anything to the equation except occasionally alleviating frustrations of a mistimed jump. Unfortunately, because of how poor the basic mechanics and camera work are, pulling off satisfying trick combos frequently ends with something that was not really your fault at all, and again adds to the immense frustration on a game that is trying to be as chill as possible. My second biggest gripe outside of the poor skating mechanics is the level design. I can't emphasize how poorly laid out many of the levels are and how frustrating some of the object placement is. What should be a smooth and easy surface to skate on causes you to fall constantly and for no reason, forcing you to lose speed and combo bonuses in the process. On the first level, cardboard boxes are used to skate up or down to other sections, but at least half the time just trying to skate up or down these ramps will cause your bird to spin or flip out. On the fourth level, there is one challenge that requires you to grind a rail upwards after jumping off of a binder, and the stupid binder rings cause you to come to a complete stop. Just in general, rails and other objects are placed in some garbage places, leaving you no room to react or line up your SkateBIRD. The themes also come across as incredibly uninspired. The first level is in a house, Toy Story style, the second is on a roof, but after that, levels 3 and 4 put you back inside the house on worse versions of the first level. It is such a disappointment to grind through the 20 challenges, which admittedly only take about 30 to 40 minutes maybe to unlock the next level, but only for it to feel like more of the same. Also, the levels are designed with a lot of verticality, which is a frustrating choice. If you fall from a top level all the way to the bottom, then you have to skate whatever path you did before to get back up to that section. This also annoyingly forces you to deal with ceilings above half pipes. Like, you will frequently skate too fast or too high, and then hit a poorly placed ceiling above a quarter pipe, wiping out any momentum you did have. This was notable particularly in levels 3 and 4. Also, as a side note, and it's not really a big deal, but I really don't understand the perspective as your bird. Not that it really matters. On one level, your bird is the size of an electrical socket, and next you're skating telephone wires on a building rooftop. But whatever, it doesn't matter because nothing really matters. On top of the skating and level design, the game's challenges in one word are awful. They alternate from being completely dull to being frustrating, but are equally never fun or satisfying to pull off. Out of the 20-ish challenges on each level, so about 80 in total that I completed, I think I found enjoyment with maybe half a dozen of them. They were just so uninspired, occasionally unclear, or were held back by awful level design. So many missions are just skate around and collect object X, which grows stale so quickly. On the opposite end of the spectrum are the technical challenges. One notable example of this is attempting to grind the telephone wires on the rooftop level, which require incredible precision, something that the controls do not provide at all. For a game that requires this precision at times, it is completely at odds with the laid-back skating vibe that it's trying to create. You simply can't outskate the terrible controls, camera, and levels, and it just ruins the entire game. So there are 5 levels in this game, and I was just simply too frustrated to unlock the 5th. On the 4th level, one of the challenges is to get 200,000 points in a 2-minute or so time span, which is so much more than any of the other previous challenges, and it just happens to be on, in what my opinion is the worst level by far. I tried a lot, but the level is just so poorly laid out, I had zero interest in completing it, questioned my own sanity if I even could, and because of the sequential nature of completing challenges one by one, the game came to a screeching halt, pun intended. Alright, let's be nice and talk about what SkateBIRD does do right. First of all, the concept is funny, and I promise you that's not lost on me. Making a video game based on a single pun is pretty fantastic. It's kind of like the spirit of the Untitled Goose Game. What is with all these bird games lately anyway? But anyways, that humor is kept up throughout the little text interactions with other birds, and made me laugh a lot. Also, customizing your skater bird is fun. There are plenty of outfits to unlock, and the tricked out birds look good. Also, the music you unlock and what you have already is surprisingly decent, and I think it even includes a lot of licensed songs, but did set the skating vibe nicely, and that was a pleasant surprise. These things clearly don't add much to the equation, as I was disturbed to see that around less than 2% of the people that played the game actually even made it to the 2nd level, and it just goes down even more from there, so that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Again, is it really fair to be comparing these games? I don't know, but since SkateBIRD clearly draws so much influence from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, it makes it easier to put in a familiar context. Honestly, it's okay to make a blatant Tony Hawk Pro Skater clone. It is, but it has to be fun to play at a bare minimum, and SkateBIRD is not. A wacky theme, decent soundtrack, and funny writing can only take a skateboarding game so far, and SkateBIRD feels very much like an unpolished tech demo that is more likely to cause you to chuck your controller out your window. Just try not to hit any skateboarding birds when you do so, because it's really not their fault that they are stuck in such a terrible game.
The The males arrive long before the females.